Hi guys, so today I'm going to try and use one of the first Sega Saturn emulators that came out on the PC. Came out around about 2001, 2002. The developer Megadeth created it, and from what I've read, Sega used this emulator on a website where you could download a few Sega Saturn games from the look of it and then play them on the PC. There was only 5 or 6 games that actually officially came out, and by 2004 it was stopped. So I remember using this emulator 2003 era, 2004, running Windows XP and having nothing but problems with it. Some of the games I could get to run and then they would crash. I couldn't get the gamepad running or anything like that. Various groups, people have hacked the hacked version of this emulator, and there's a bit of a grey area around it, and a lot of emulation sites just won't even use it. But today I want to try it out simply because I remember using it, and with all the problems that we have developing the Sega Saturn emulator today, having to use quad-core processors, high-end graphics cards, this emulator ran on a single core processor, and it didn't need a really powerful graphics card. I remember running on a 1500 megahertz processor, and I think it was a GeForce 3 at the time. Today we're going to run it on a AMD XP 3200, which runs at 2200 megahertz, under the Windows Millennium environment. And I think it's important that we get the environment for this emulator right. By the time I was using it on XP, it just wouldn't work right, and I think it was originally developed under the Windows 98 environment, which obviously Millennium is a part of, and that's why I don't think I've had so many problems with it this time. So we're running Windows Millennium, single core processor. The graphics card I'm using now is an FX 5950 Ultra, which may be a bit overkill for what we're trying to do here, but it's the one I use on this machine, so there we go. The sound card is a Creative Sound Blaster Live, and another good thing about this sound card with this emulator, it has full DirectX, and this emulator really does like a DirectX sound card. If you don't have one on there, even though it might actually say it is DirectX, it will come up with an error. You don't get that with this card. The emulator runs straight with it. And the Creative Game Port, which is being used for the gamepad, so I'm using the 15 pin gamepad here, and I'm going to be using the Microsoft Sidewinder. I find that this actually works with the emulator, no problem at all. I just remember at the time though, couldn't get any gamepads running, but it just seems to run straight out of the box with this pad. The pad's a bit like a Sega Saturn in respect that it's got 6 buttons on the front, left and right trigger, and obviously the start button, so really good that way as well. Okay then, so this is the emulator. So it's GiriGiri, and as I say, it was designed by Megadeth. There's various ways of actually getting a Sega Saturn game to play. You can use a physical disc in your CD drive. You can load a Sega Saturn image on a virtual drive, or you can load it via a queue or a bin file. So today I'm going to, this time around, I'm going to run a queue and bin file. I'm going to set the settings to the USA, because this game, which is Panzer Dragoon, actually is a USA copy. And let's have a look. So there's the Sega Saturn logo. Click with the mouse again, it goes into full screen. I'm only running at 640 480. Believe you me, the game will run at 920 1080p. but with my capture card I'm having a few problems at the moment, so I'm just running at 640 480, and hopefully you'll be able to see the quality of it anyway. So let's get into the game, and I'm going to continue on episode 2. There we go. And as you can see, the controls just work brilliantly. No problem whatsoever. And the quality is really good. If I press F4 on my keyboard, in the top left hand corner now, you'll see the frame rate, and we're running at 60 frames a second. No problem at all. Yeah, really responsive gameplay, smooth. It's nice to be able to play these the same game on PC, I've got to admit. I mean, there are newer emulators out there now, but if this is what we could have done in 2002, the emulator had been allowed to carry on. I just wonder what we would have got by the end of it. Nothing better than seeing a dragon flying. I'm not saying the emulator's perfect in any way at all. There are a lot of games that it won't play. If you like the games with the 1 or 4 meg carts, then I'm afraid this emulator will not play there. I've never been able to get one of those specific games to play with. Shame, because there were some great games that came out for that cart, and on the newer emulators you can actually emulate the cart and play those games. So no Street Fighter Alpha 3 on this emulator, I'm afraid. Okay, so you can see that the gameplay is fine. I think I've taken one of the longer ways into this town. I was able to get into the town so you could see the action, how it plays in there. The frames sticking fine, no problem whatsoever. I'm getting battered here. So, let's try out. No problem. Okay, let's go and try another game. So you just click on the mouse, make it go smaller, and then you come out of it. Okay, so what we got? So here is actually all 240 PAL games that came out. I think there's about 17 to 20 extra games that came out in the US, and over 600 games actually came out in Japan, which is amazing really. But okay, so as you see, I can't use Sega Rally because it's not in a queue format. The only way I could do this would be to load it with Alcohol 120 onto a virtual drive and then rip it off as an ISO with a queue file, and then we could run it. But let's see what we've got here. Daytona USA. Okay. See, wrong error. So let's go back in here now. Mount it that way. I believe this one is Europe, and then run the CD like that. So depending how you've got your actual file format for the game, you can either run it or load it onto the actual virtual drive. Okay, so Daytona USA.
Please select
it came on the Sega Saturn.
Please choose manual or automatic transmission. Gentlemen, start your engine.
That good. Played well. Not great either, to be honest with you. Alright, press F4. Have a look again. So we're hitting 60 frames a second. Again, sorry about my driving there. But yeah, I mean, it plays no problem whatsoever. Yeah, with the button. Change view.
Hang in there. Are you all right? Right, your time has been extended.
No problem.
Looking good.
There it is. And restart it and try a different track.
Please select a race course. Advanced. Please choose
Don't expect any better driving on
automatic
this one either.
transmission. Gentlemen, start your engine.
3, 2, 1, go! And they're underway.
So I'm using an FX 5950. Believe you me, you really don't need anything like that. I built a Windows 2000 PC running a GeForce 4 Ti 4600, and again it ran this no problem whatsoever. So under the Windows 2000 environment, the emulator does play. Doesn't seem to have the same problems as the Windows XP one. But Windows 98 was its original design, Millennium
Tire.
is fine with it, and as I say, Windows 2000 is as well. The moment you start going into Windows XP, you do get problems, and it will just
Great,
drop.
your time has been extended.
Okay, so let's try another game. I had all these games I was going to try and play, and I can't think of what to put on here now. So what we got? Sega Rally, I suppose, is another game. I can't even read my own writing here. So again, it's the wrong format, so I'm going to have to mount this one. And then run it that way. Press F4 again so you can see the frames in the top left hand corner.
Sega Rally Championship.
And here we go, let's have a bit of Sega
3,
Rally.
2, 1, go.
Right, and one of the first things you'll notice about this game is the actual road itself. Graphical glitches, as in it picks up the sky, the grass, so you'll see green and blue lines. There you go, there's the green lines in front and the blue. I've got to admit, it doesn't actually spoil the game at all. You know, it really doesn't. When playing at a lower res, the I think it's 320 by 240, you don't seem to get that at all. So I think it's got so much more to do with the hardware acceleration and you know, the higher frame. Okay, so
Finish!
stage.
3, 2, 1, go. Very
So
well,
it
easy
just
right.
plays. No problem at all.
Long, easy right, maybe.
Does it look better than the Sega Saturn? Well, I'm not going to say anything on that one. I think it caused too many arguments.
Medium left.
People like to play on the original hardware, and I understand that, just like myself. But it is nice to be able to play these games on the PC. To see maybe what they could have been. Anyway, let's come out of Sega Rally. I'll try another racing game. One of my favourites on the Sega Saturn, and that of course would be Manx TT. So again, it's going to have to be mounted. It's the wrong format. And here we go.
Manx TT Superbike. Please select the course. Please select manual or automatic transmission.
This specific game I love playing on the PC anyway. If you have a 3D FX graphics card, then no, crap start. If you have a 3D FX graphics card and you've got the game on the PC, it really does enhance the graphics. Did do a tryout with my NV1 graphics card on the PC as well, and I was really surprised at how well this game ran. There was no DirectX with the NV1, and yet this game really played smooth with that card, using direct draw, which was really impressive, I think. But again, this emulator, Manx TT, no problems at all. If anything, it has that same problem with the Sega Rally, that the road seems to pick up colours from the other graphics, from the surrounding areas, but not as bad, I don't think. But it runs smooth, the controls are great. Yeah, the old sidewinder pad works a treat. There we go, there's the green on the road there. But really, that's all I can say. That I noticed with the game, that's the problem. I mean, it's still even today a really good game. I'll never press the F4, so I've got to look what frames going on. Not really ideal time to do it, but there you go. So, frames per second, this is running at 40. Okay, so we're not getting those 60 frames a second we are with Sega Rally or Daytona. We're hitting 43, 42. So not as good. But I've got to admit, it doesn't feel slow at all. I don't know what we've originally ran on the Sega Saturn, but I'm almost definitely sure it would not have run at this speed anyway. So there you go. So there's Manx TT. Let's try another one. So instead of a race game, let's think on C drive. I have some old, yeah, let's try Radiant Silvergun. No, I can't remember if this is Japanese or American. I have to have it set up. I'm going to try Japan and run the CD. So you know if I've got his settings right. No, okay. So we'll try America. And there we go. Right, obviously the game didn't come out in America, so it's already had its region changed. So here we go anyway. You can change the regions for all the games. I don't bother, but you can. Again, I'm not a great cheat me up, but you'll get the gist of it, I hope. Let's press F4, see what we're hitting. Right, again, we're not getting the 60 frames a second with this game. High 40s, but not 60 frames. Again, I don't know what it would have played on the... Oh no, it's got 60 now. Yeah, we have got 60. we're back down to the 16 again. So, maybe not the actual emulator struggling, or it could just be the game itself, if I'm honest with you. Right. All the buttons working, no problem. Right, we've gone down. No, I won't continue. Right, so I'm not very good at those type of games. Okay, so even Radiant Silvergun plays. Let's go back to D drive and see what else we got. Nights into Dreams. Okay, I'm going to actually load this one. No, I'll try to load it up. Let's have a look. Okay, I believe it's a European one. Let's have a look, see what happens. Okay, so we've got the Sega screen. Let's have a look. Oh, okay. So far, so good. Okay. Yep. It looks fine so far. Press F4, see what we're getting, and here we go. Yeah, so we're hitting 55 frames per second with this as well. I mean, it could be because obviously we are running the PAL ones, which would only run at 50 anyway, so I'm not quite sure how the emulator takes it from one region to the next. Whether or not if I've been running the 60Hz game, it would have actually ran 60 frames a second. I'm not too sure. Now I do remember when I was running this on XP, it would not play at all, so I was quite shocked to actually see this running. So that's my day. Don't ask me what I'm doing here, by the way. I'm just messing around, just showing you the graphics. I'm just trying to look out for if I can see any errors or anything with it, but it looks fine. It doesn't. It really is playing. Right. I'm hoping to show you that once I've got my capture card set up better. The game's actually running in 1080p. Doesn't seem to have any slowdown when I was running in the 1080p on. Normally you would have thought, you know, the frames would go down, but it doesn't seem to have any effect at all, so which is good. So there's Knights, and yeah, again, not a problem. So another classic game obviously that came out for the Sega Saturn would be Virtua Fighter. So let's have a look how that one holds up with this emulator as well. I'll mount it. Should be a European one. Here we go. Okay, so we have a bow now, which is going right. F4. Right, 49.
Fight! What?
So,
Ready, go! Go!
no, it's got slowdown. This has definitely got slowdown here. It's not running how I would like it to be running. We're right down to the middle 20s frame rate. It feels very sluggish indeed. So even though it will play it, it's not a nice experience. You don't, I'm pressing the button and it's happening almost a second after I'm pressing it. So there is a downside to this one. Yeah, it's struggling, which is a shame. So let's try the Virtua Fighter and see how that fares up. Okay, prepare for battle. Oh, crikey. Right. Let's press F4. Okay, so yeah, we're getting the graphics, but the speed wise, but yeah, that's a bit of a shock. I've been playing Virtua Fighter, the remix, on my MV1, and that was an enhanced version of this game, and so I'm pretty shocked to actually see what it looks like on here. I mean, we're running at 60 frames a second, don't get me wrong, all the moves are there. But yeah, doesn't look fantastic, does it really? Then again, this is what, 94, 95, so I mean, and it was one of the first. We have to start somewhere. But the difference between Virtua Fighter 2 and this one is astonishing. And I know that Virtua Fighter 2 on the Sega Saturn was like a dream, so it's a shame this emulator is having a problem. I might be able to have a look at it later and see whether one of the settings you can change for it. There you go. So Virtua Fighter 1, no problem. Right, I've only been trying Sega games, haven't I? So let's have a look at Darius. Right, I'm hoping it's a European one. Soon going to find out. Get full screen. Game start. Alright. 4. Yeah, 60 frames a second, and don't I know it? Yeah, you really have to be in the mode to play games like this. Extremely fast flowing. Looking up the pad is responsive. And I don't see this being a problem for it at all. It did come out on the PC anyway, this game did. What I've been trying to do is get hold of all the games that came out on the Sega Saturn that were released for the PC. And this is one that definitely came out for it. In fact, I'm up to about 140, 150 games so far for the PAL region that were released on the PC that came out on the Sega Saturn. Some obviously came out on the PC first and were ported to the Sega Saturn and vice versa. But it is amazing just how many of the Sega Saturn games actually have come out on the PC. Some of them look better and some of them don't. That's an easy way of saying it. Technology on the PC when the Sega Saturn came out, of course, very basic in the fact that we didn't actually have any 3D accelerated graphic cards that we've got today, and it was still early days, and that's why when the NV1 came out, there was no DirectX support. It didn't know which way we were going, and so the card was designed without DirectX support, and it needed it. 3D FX came out, of course, and they used their own API as well, but all in all, between 95 and 96, the PC was going through a stage of 3D as well. So these early Sega Saturn games that came out on the PC relied mainly on direct draw rather than direct 3D. Patches did come out at later stages for a lot of the games, or 3D effect patches for their API, but yeah, the early days, not quite. So, here we go, so there's Darius, no problem. Let's try another one. Right, Earthworm Jim. Let's have a look. Mount the image. Run the CD. Again, this game came out on the PC as well. Okay, we're stuck at the Sega logo. Don't seem to get any further than that. And I think this might be as far as we're going to get. Oh no, I tell a lie. Here we go. And that is it. I'm not getting anything. yeah. So there you go, there's one of the first casualties. I've gone completely dead with that one. So not one Sega Saturn emulator runs them all, let's put it that way. Right then, and this one here, Die Hard Arcade, actually came out with the Cyber Disc service. So this emulator should play this, no problem at all. This is one of the 6 or 5 or 6 games that did come out. So, Die Hard Arcade. Four. Look, 9 frames a second. And yeah, you can just tell, it just feels great. No problem at all here. Really smooth. I had this on an ST-V arcade board as well, which is another format for Sega Saturn in a way. It was Alien Silvergun, Cotton, they all came out on the ST-V arcade boards. Decathlon, and I used to play many a day on that one. But these came out in kart formats. Okay, I've kicked instead of punched, not good, so now I'm going to have to punch. As you can see, I think you can tell by the graphics, there's not a problem at all, it's really smooth. We're hitting what, 60 frames a second all the way along, yeah, no problem. Really, I need you to tell me which ones to... Oh, Guardian Heroes. Okay, so... by obviously Treasure. So... let's have a look how he plays this. If anyone's interested in trying out other games, just let me know and I'll try them for you. System or cartridge memory, let's try cartridge. So yeah, so even though we can't get the 1 meg or 4 meg cart on, you can actually get the extended cartridge memory on here. Okay, so we can see some lines. Now what I've always found on emulation, if you're getting the lines, it's normally because you're at too high a rev. We're at 640 by 480. This would have originally run at 320 by 240, and yeah, so this is the breakup here. So if we're running in its native res, I don't believe you'd be getting these lines at all. Capture card to record a 320 by 240. Stop doing it. Okay, so apart from the lines breaking, it looks Right, yeah, so here you go. So you can see where the lines are on the sprites. Again, I really do believe that if you're running a 320 by 240, you wouldn't be getting that at all. Common problem. We're out of the native size of it. So graphically it is a bit glitchy. I mean, even I'll admit that it's not perfect. Playable, definitely. And as I say, if I'm running in 320 by 240, I don't think I'm getting these artifacts on the sprites at all. Frames. So yeah, running at 60 frames almost a second. Yeah, no problem at all then. Okay then. So there you go. So this is one of the first Sega Saturn emulators. Grey area for some. I think if Windows XP had come out slightly later, it probably would have had a bit more of a fan base. By the time it came out, Windows XP was out and it just didn't like XP at all. People didn't want to go back to Windows 98, so it kind of died. And also, as I say, because of the way, as people say, it was stolen. People are modifying it, didn't actually have the rights to do that. Yeah, it's dead. I think the closest I've seen an emulator running the Sega Saturn with the enhanced graphics is Jarbase. That seems to enhance, but you do need like a quad core and a really powerful graphics card to do what this is doing on a single core, and a low-end graphics card in today's comparison. We'll try one more, but as you can see, it is a nice emulator. Is it hard to set up? No, I didn't find it hard at all. I'm going through here, trying to find again. Right, this one here. So in the hunt. Is just as expensive on the PC to buy these days as it is on the Sega Saturn. Yeah, if you can get a box version of this, it's well over £100 on the PC, which is absolutely crazy. I had to buy it in a compilation. I couldn't get it as the box version itself. I'm trying to remember which it is for this game. I thought it was Japan, but it might be. No, it's not that one either. So actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to unmount it. I think this is one of those games where it's actually better not being mounted. Believe it or not. So let's have a look. In the hunt. Right, try with America, see what happens. Okay, there you go. So mounting it, it didn't work, but running it from the queue did. As with all emulators, you know, you have to try. The majority of the games I find do run no problem being mounted, but I say this one here in particular didn't like it, and it likes to run off the Q file. So we're running what, 59, 60 frames a second on this. So look, once we're into the gameplay. Okay, 59. Of course, the guy who made this game went on to make Metal Slug, and you can probably see a lot of the same kind of things as Metal Slug would become from this game. It's same kind of action. It's a really fun game, and when I like getting my old Windows 95, 98 PCs out, I do enjoy playing this. So there you go. I suppose one game I should try that I haven't would be Panzer Dragoon Saga. So yeah, okay, let's go and because this game is ridiculously expensive, but I didn't realise just how few copies actually did come out on PAL for this, so it doesn't surprise me anymore. So let's have a look. Yeah. Again, you've got all the cutscenes, video plays, no problem. But let's have a look what the gameplay looks like. We've got to go through all this. I do apologise. Let's just quickly do that. Okay. Yes, it's my real name. Alright. Okay. So I'm going to jump the cutscenes, because otherwise the whole video will be just of video footage. Okay, so straight away it looks fine. Press F4. Yeah, hitting 60 frames a second. It does look really nice. Okay, we want to see the dragon, don't we? So here we go. Let's go here. Yeah, I know. Right, the elevator. Another cutscene. I mean, the whole game's full of cutscenes. Let's go through and let's have a look at the dragon. Okay.
だいぶ流されたな。早く発掘所に戻らないと。だけどこのドラゴンどうやったら言うことを聞いてくれるんだろう。
Yeah, no problem at all, is there? I say, I mean, I'm only running at 640 by 480. It's even more enhanced. Obviously, you're running at a higher res. So there you go, Panzer Dragoon Saga. Playing on a single core CPU. Operating system from 1999. There you go. Okay then. So there you have it. Sega Saturn Emulator. One of its first. Go out and try it. You never know. Alright, you take care.